Hey, we're live. Welcome to Aaron Live. I couldn't wait any longer. I was sitting here going, why am I sitting here waiting an extra 5 minutes for 6:30 to come around before I actually started the show? I'm just sitting here doing nothing. So starting the show 2 minutes early, um, which is good because I have an extra long monologue tonight. Not really. Well, maybe. Um, can you believe this, man? We're almost at the end of January of 2021 already. So that means only 11 more months till Christmas, 10 more months till Christmas. But seriously, folks, thanks for coming and joining me tonight. I want to give you guys some updates on some projects that I have got going on and coming up and all that kind of stuff. I took a little extra time tonight and scanned some images so I don't have to hold everything up to the camera all the time like I usually do. We are going to do a little drawing, but I don't know how much longer can I stall till. I still got a minute till we're officially live. So even though we actually are officially live because we're live, that makes it official. But most people aren't expecting this to be live for another minute. So I'm going to stall here for another minute before I actually show you any of the stuff that I've prepared. I've been working a lot on commissions over these past several months and still doing those. I dropped a couple of covers. I did, what's the name of that company? That's terrible, isn't it? For Steve Orlando's doing a book through, doggone it. Mike Martz is going to kill me. I can't think of the name of the company. Drives me nuts. Starts with an A. What is it? I don't know. But I did a cover for his book, Patreon. And I did a cover for Archie Comics for something, but I can't talk about that either. And then I just did something for one of our independent creators, and I don't suppose I should talk about that either. I'll let him talk about that. But I am working on a James Bond cover right now for the people that publish James Bond. Oh my gosh, my mind has just gone totally blank. Dynamite. So I'm doing a James Bond Duranko homage cover that obviously I can't show you or anything, but maybe I shouldn't even be talking about it, but I am working on it. So that's going to be kind of cool. So I've been doing a little bit of, actual paying work other than commissions and stuff, which have been really good to everybody that's, contacted me about commissions or bought original artwork. It's been fantastic. Because I haven't really done much in the way of work for the big two. In fact, the last thing that I did that came out was this, and I did 4 pages in that, and that was I did that in September. So everything else has just been sort of me doing commissions or me doing working on my own projects. Like I said, doing a few covers here and there for some of the independent companies. So I'm getting by, but things are very, very strange at DC and Marvel these days, so I don't have great expectations going forward for that. All right, hey, look, I have stalled long enough. People are joining us like crazy, which is, that's the best kind of joining. Why don't I get rid of this so you can see my beautiful face? All right, let's see who's here. Humphrey Bear. Mark Anthony, John Smith from San Diego. Sadly, that's in the state of California, but the weather's nice. Let's see who else we got here. Scott Ruplin is here, or Ruplin. See, when I get put on the spot, I have to actually, I read you guys' names all the time. It's like, how do I really pronounce that? So probably screwing it up. Bert's here from Canada. I know the collector from Canada is here too. He can't reveal his secrets tonight. No, I cannot. I will reveal some secrets, but they're not really secrets, so I wouldn't be revealing them. Well, I guess there are secrets because you don't know them yet, but you will know them, and then they won't be secrets. Warren Montgomery is here. He's anxiously waiting to get in and start lettering Garbage Man pages. That's one of the things I wanted to update. I am now starting to get colored pages back from the colorist, John Cleese. So that means lettering will not be far behind. That's not going to make the book come out any faster because we're way ahead, but it'll be released in a trade paperback this year with the new material. But one of the things I did want to bring up here, actually a couple things. Let me do this first. I want you guys to know I still have this, and it's still for sale for 150 bucks. I can't believe it's still sitting here. But so if you're interested in this color piece, it's 9x12 of The Thing. You can message me right here and right now and say, hey, Aaron, I'll take it. Or you can, email me or whatever. But that is available. And this little interesting gem, now this is 11x14. I'm going to be working on this tonight. I'm going to let this go for 100 bucks, but I'm going to do some markering on it. Not a ton, because it's pretty much black and white, but I'm going to do some gray stuff on it to kind of enhance that sort of black and white feel, which I think works really well for Punisher. So got that going on, which is nice. So I wanted to clear the air, if I could, about the couple of pieces that I still have floating around that are available for sale if anybody's interested in those. Let's see, what else can I show you? Well, let's talk about Garbage Man. Well, actually, let's not. Let's do this first. Have you guys seen this? This was my Snickers ad. Now, I posted these on Facebook, so maybe a lot of you have seen them, but maybe some of you haven't. I got to do a Snickers ad. Now, if you remember the good old days, when I say old, I mean me old, like back in the 70s. They probably did it in the 80s a little bit too, where they used to have like Hostess fruit pie ads and things like that in the comic books. Well, they're still doing that over at DC. And I did this, which was a Snickers ad for Shazam, and it was right around Halloween. And it appeared in their comics, of course. So that's page one. That's really the cool shot because it's got Shazam on it. Now, Norm Rapman inked this, and Brian Miller colored it. Now, Norm stole the pages from me and has not given them back to me. So he's on my list right now. And there's the second page. We actually have the Snickers payoff down there at the bottom. In fact, let me hide this so you can actually see. Maybe you just need a Snickers. And these kids have their Snicker bars because the family over at the Shazam household, they only give out full-size Snickers. So that's one of the ones you want to hit on Halloween. But anyway, I just kind of I don't know if you guys had seen that or not, so I wanted to share it because that's what I do, is I share. Scott Ruplin says, I'll buy The Thing. Scott, sold. It's yours. It's 150 plus $10 shipping, so you can PayPal me 160 bucks, and I'll ship it off to you right away. So Scott, there you go. Aaron at aaronlopresti.com. Let me throw that up there so there is no confusion, because there's always confusion on my channel. It's perhaps what I'm known best for. There it is. So Aaron at aaronlopresti.com. There's my PayPal running across there, Scott. So 160 bucks, and I'll ship it to you pronto. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. Okay, so what else do I want to show you guys? Okay, so let me get rid of this. So I am working on Garbage Man, even though my publisher keeps telling me don't talk about it. I'm talking about it because I want you guys to know about it so that it's not a big surprise when, suddenly it comes out or you miss it, your chance to pre-order it. So I am working on it, but, well, actually I'm done working on it. Other people are working on it right now, trying to get like I said, the coloring done and the lettering after that. So the only thing I have left to do is the cover. And I'm sort of torn on what I want to do with the cover. So I was thinking about using this. Now when I originally did the miniseries for DC, I've told this story before, but here I am telling it again, and I will tell it again, gosh darn it. The first 6 parts, first 6 issues, or 6 segments, they were 10 pages each, spread out over 6 issues of this anthology book. I thought we were all going to do like our own interior covers. So basically we'd all have our interior cover and then we would have 9 pages of story. Well, everybody else just did 10 pages of story, and I was the only one who did interior covers for the first 6 parts. And this was the one for the very first issue, and I really dig this image. I just don't know if I can go with the Garbage Man being written on the tree without there actually being a logo on the comic. So I could technically remove that Garbage Man off that tree and just make it, a detailed tree, and then have them drop a Garbage Man logo over the top of that image. So I'm thinking about that. Warren, I can't answer that question. I do not know. But you know how marketing departments are always like, they want to be the first to like drop the bomb, right? So they don't want you talking about it until they talk about it, then you can talk about it, right? But since I'm not really mentioning what company is doing this, then I guess I'm really not talking about it. But I am talking about it. So anyway, that was one of the things I was thinking of. Now, I have previewed before this piece that I drew and Danny Mickey inked, and it's just absolutely stunning, as you can see. And I've got to color this because I'm going to use it in the book in some capacity, like a title page or something. I don't know what. But I was thinking about using it for a cover, and the thing is, I don't think it's as impactful as a cover. I mean, it's a great piece of artwork. I mean, Danny just went nuts on it, and it's really, really cool, but I don't know if it's really a cover image, if that makes any sense. It's more of a really cool illustration, so it may just be in the book, but I got to color that, so I'm going to be, when I say I've got to color it, I'm going to be coloring it, so I'm kind of excited to work on that, but I don't know if I'm going to use that. And the other option is to do a whole new piece for the cover, which I might do. So anyway, so that's kind of what's cooking with Garbage Man. And as we get closer to the solicitation date for the trade, I will let you guys know so that you're aware of it and you won't be taken by surprise when it shows up in the comic shop catalog. And I don't want it to sneak by anybody. So anyway, that's our little Garbage Man update. It's not much, but it's a tidbit. What else can I share with you? If you guys have not gone to my website, you should go to my website because I have stuff on my website. I have a line of greeting cards. Some of you may know that. Some of you may not know that. I think there's about 12 or 13 cards in the collection right now. I don't know. I haven't really been pushing them that hard over the last year or so because, quite frankly, I don't hardly make any money on them at all. So like I have to sell 1 million of them to make $1 kind of thing. It's like those reverse Vegas odds where you don't want to, you have to, bid $1,000 to win 100 kind of thing. But they are kind of fun novelty things, and they are on my website, and that's one of them right there, my little shark card. So I don't know why I felt the need to plug that. I just saw it floating around on my desktop, and I thought, no, I'll share that. So anyway, so if you go to my website, there's a section for like the store section, and you open that up, and it has like cards and books and artwork and so forth and so on. Okay, so I'm going to drop this. I'm going to drop this really quick. Okay, this is one of the pages from Garbage Man that I had to redraw, sort of. Okay, we kept everything the same except this character up here who's filling in for Batman. I won't tell you his name yet. You're going to have to get the book to find out. But it's introducing this guy and a new super team. But if you'll notice, well, actually, you don't notice here. I put this together and was going to send this to the colorist, and then he told me to do it differently. So I actually patched this image over the top of Batman on the black and white scans, but it's on a different layer. It's how he wanted it. So essentially what I had to do is I had to go in and erase the parts of Batman that stuck out past this character. And there weren't a ton, but there's a few. And so I had to go in there and erase those, which then of course created this white area. And then I had to go back in over the top of that and read, and I did this on the computer. I would, like the bricks and stuff, images around the character, right in here. I went back in Photoshop with a pencil tool and just drew that stuff back in onto this layer. So now he can use the existing color that's already there. I mean, this obviously is the black and white piece, but he's going to use the existing color file that's already there and then just do the touch-up color around that guy from the areas where I erased Batman, and then color, what needs to be colored of him, which isn't much because he's pretty much a black and white character. But so anyway, that's like one of the first major pages that I had to do to eliminate Batman from the story. So I wanted to share that with you as well. Okay, so that is seriously all the Garbage Man news for right now. Let's see. Not really enough space for a title if you use that as a cover. That's true, but I could run if you're talking about Bert's talking about the part that the one that Danny Mickey inked, I'd run the logo down at the bottom, which then might not be a good idea because if it's in bookstores or whatever as a trade paperback, it might get covered up. So yeah, that's a good observation. Mr. Law has dropped in. Hi, Aaron. Hello, Mr. Law. I appreciate it. I appreciate you joining me. I also appreciate you saying hello. Okay, so, I want to give you an update on my coloring book as well. You've seen these, but you're going to see them again. This is the finished John Carter of Mars piece. Although technically it can't be a John Carter of Mars piece because that would be copyright infringement. So I'm going to have a little bit of a time here because if you recall, this coloring book is on the open face page. Wait a minute. Oh, I got to do it this way. Okay. So the page that would be right here facing this color image or the black and white image is going to have like a story, a short story that kind of goes along with the image. And I can't really use John Carter, so I'm going to have to be kind of tricky on how I word it. But anyway, that's clearly what that is. And so that's one of the pieces that is in there. Another piece that is in there, oops, I'm not supposed to go to that one yet. Another one that's in there is this, which has been really been a fan favorite of a lot of people who really liked this piece and actually expressed interest in the original art, which kind of surprised me because, I mean, it's a nice piece, but it's a very simple piece, you know. But I think it probably has more to do with a warrior chick without a ton of clothes on, maybe. But it has a big Yeti back there. And I mean, honestly, who doesn't love a Yeti, right? Am I right? Am I right? So those are two pieces that are finished I wanted to share with you. The other that I'm working on right now is this guy, which is the pirate piece that I shared with you guys before, but I wanted to kind of put it up on screen so you could get a better look at it. And I've actually started inking that, and I'm going to show you that real quick too. But the story on this book is, it's going to be 9 by 13, so it's going to be way oversized. It's not a hardcover. It's going to be saddle stitched because you need to be able to open it. For those of you that actually might want to color on the pages in the book with colored pencil or whatever, or crayons or whatever, pastels, whatever you might use, watercolors, you know, whatever. So I want it to be easy to access. And also for those of you who are going to want to scan the images and color them in Photoshop to practice on or whatever, which I figure a lot of people will be doing, it'll be much easier to flip that book open and lay it face down. If it's saddle stitched, basically like a comic book, it'll be heavy paper stock, obviously, than a comic book, and it's much bigger, but it should open up pretty easily and allow easy scanning, which is kind of the idea. So anywho, so that's that. And let's take that off there so you once again can see me because it's my show. Let's drop into comments here. That's a cool looking shadow type character. Oh, he's John Smith. He's very cool. There's a super team involved and they all have kind of interesting powers and, you know, it fits well with the book. So you guys should check that out. And who knows, maybe I'd like to do something with them later on. Josh Olive has joined the show. Thanks, Josh, for coming in from Alabama. Let's see. John Carter, no, Princess of Mars is in the public domain. That novel is. But I don't know if, let me put that up there so you guys, I often do this. I answer questions without actually reading the question so you know what I'm talking about. My understanding is that the Princess of Mars book is in public domain, but so in other words, if I were to, which I've thought about doing and might do, is do like an illustrated version of the Princess of Mars, I could actually get the text and I could reprint that text from that book without any copyright problems at all and basically do my own version. I think the problem is when you start creatively using those characters in new material, that's when it becomes copyright infringement. All right. So it's the book itself is in public domain, which allows you to then use the title and the story, reprinting of the story, but you can't take Deja Force and John Carter and make your own new material. That's my understanding. I'm not a lawyer, nor do I play one on TV or on YouTube. So take that with a grain of salt. I know, Scott, you said that about the Yetis. Scott says Yetis. I was in the Peace Corps in Nepal, and we had this discussion before. You did not see any Yetis, but you heard legendary tales of such things. So, well, the Disney movie, you know, that would be like Snow White. They have the copyright in their own version of it. But see, that wasn't a direct adaptation. And again, it wasn't reprinting Princess of Mars. It was basically taking the characters and doing their own thing. So they had to license that, and I'm sure, but now they own their own version of it, just like they would own their own version of Snow White or whatever else. And who knows, maybe, no, I know that Edgar Rice Burroughs, I know they have an estate, and you still have to license that Tarzan and stuff like that. So I don't know how that works with Disney. If they license the properties, but then copyright their own take on that stuff. So I don't know. Copyright gets very, very complicated. H.P. Lovecraft stuff is now in public domain, and everybody's going, wow, yeah, that's true. Yes, the folks in the high Himalayas have compelling stories. I'll bet they do. That would be interesting to hear some of those stories. Okay, so let me show you one more thing before we start drawing, if I may. The one thing, let's turn the camera down. Enough of me already. Get down here to the good stuff. Okay, this is the pirate piece, but I want to kind of really sort of zoom in on this. I hadn't done any inking in a long time. And working on this coloring book, these illustrations, and getting back into doing, you know, some covers, because usually when I do covers, I do everything if I can, you know, with time constraints and stuff. But usually when I do the smaller independent books, I always pencil, ink, and color them. But oh, that's a little fuzzy, isn't it? I was going to say, check out those feather lines, baby. This is all the brush. Now, I'm not saying I don't go in and use a pen, but I trained myself as a brush inker, because those of you who've actually read How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, you'll know that they advocate using a brush, because that's what, you know, Buscema used, or a lot of the inkers back then used were brushes. There wasn't a lot of pen inking going on back in the day. It was all brush. Well, so that's how I trained myself. And it took me years, even after I was technically a professional, my inking was still really sort of heavy-handed and I wouldn't say sloppy, but just really heavy-handed. And it took me a while to sort of develop the touch where I could do these really fine, thin lines on here. Oh, you know what the problem is? It's that stupid autofocus. Boom. Okay, that's now off. So let's see if we can get in here. Still not great. But you can see. So this is some old pirate dude with a big nose, and he's covered with barnacles and stuff. That's all, you know, and that's coral growing out of his head kind of thing. I'd like to draw guys with big noses, so there'll be a lot of big nose characters in this coloring book. But there's going to be a wide range of material in here. Most of it's going to be comic-centric and fantasy adventure type stuff that I'm not going to say it's an adult comic, because there's not going to be any, you know, there's no nudity or anything in it, or bloodletting or anything like that. But, you know, there are some scantily clad warrior chicks in it. So, you know, I don't know if you want to get it for your 8-year-old daughter, but, you know, anybody that's, you know, probably 10 or 11 could handle it. You know, I was looking at this stuff when I was 10 or 11, and I guess that's what's wrong with me now. But so anyway, it'd be a lot of fun. There's a wide variety of material that's going to be in this coloring book. So it should be fun. And my goal here is, I just got my printing quote back, and it's very reasonable. So I think what I'm going to do is go on Indiegogo and basically just try and raise enough to cover the publishing costs. And that's just basically, you know, through pre-orders of the book. I'll offer a, you know, like a remarked edition and signed edition and all that kind of garbage for those collector guys out there. And, you know, those that just want the book will be able to get the book. But anyway, I'm hoping I will have all this work done in February sometime, and have it launch hopefully by mid to late February. So we'll see. Keep your fingers crossed. But I think it's going to be cool. So we'll see if it actually is or not. All right, let's start with the Punisher because he's already done. Let's see. Nice artwork, Aaron. Well, thank you, Nighthawk Warrior. I appreciate that. Let's see. Good inking can make a great piece greater. This looks awesome. Using brushes for inks is like magic to me. I just don't get how people do it. It's just, you know, it's like training. It's just whatever you're used to. And the funny thing is, when I do stuff like this, I just use a pen because you can get, well, okay, you can get basically the same look with a pen as you can with a brush. It's just 10 times harder with a brush. So you have to be really disciplined and have a lot of control. Whereas with a pen, you know, you can be a little bit looser because no matter how much pressure you put on the pen, unless you're using a crow quill, which is one of those old-fashioned you dip pens, your line weight isn't going to change, right? So you don't have to be super careful with it. But if you want to do heavier line weights, you have to build those up by going over it with a pen 2 or 3 times, whereas a brush, you can just change your pressure. But it's much easier to ink with a pen, and it's much faster to ink with a pen, and you can't really tell the difference. So why am I using a brush? Well, because I'm used to it. And also, the ink in the brush is much darker. And so when you erase your pencil lines off, it doesn't tend to come up if you use a dark ink, which I do. The pens like Microns and the pens that I use, you can erase some of the black off so it grays a little bit, which I don't like. So that's one of the reasons I kind of stay away from pens. I mean, I do with the smaller stuff that really requires a lot of control and discipline with a brush. So when I get to a point where I just don't want to deal with it, then I go ahead and we'll grab a pen. But anyway, what I'm going to do with this Punisher piece here, thank you. Nighthawk Warrior says, nice Punisher. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Josh says, I've been talking up the coloring book to folks at my shop. We're definitely got some interest. Looking forward to carrying it. I will make sure that my retail friends can get a discount on a multi-copy order. So we'll work that out. I don't know if I'm going to do it as part of the campaign or do it on the side. I really don't know at this point. And there's Randy. Randy's an official inker, Ink Spider. He's joining us, Randy Emberlin. He has inked Spider-Man for years, and that's why he doesn't like microns, because that is true. They do, when you erase, they do gray up. And so that's something you have to keep in mind when you're doing that stuff. And you could use the dip pens, the crow quill pens, in the same dark ink that you're using for the brush, but it's another discipline, and I don't like going over. I like to be able to create line weights just with the pressure I use, rather than you have to go over it 2 or 3 times with a pen to kind of create that. So, it's to each his own. I used to be sort of snobbish about it and say, well, brush inkers are the really talented people, which is clearly not true. There's a lot of pen inkers that are exceptional inkers. And so I've dropped my snobbishness about pen. It is harder to use. I mean, there's no question. It's much harder to use. But, just because something's harder doesn't make it better. In fact, you could argue that people that are married to brushes are stupid because they're taking the hard way instead of the easy way. So. All right, so I'm going to do a little gray zero on the white here. This Punisher, because I don't want this white to get too dark, obviously. And I'm not going to clean it up. This is kind of a rough sketch. It's kind of fun. I like kind of the energy it has to it, so I'm not going to erase all the pencil stuff out of it. I'm just going over the top of it, and it is what it is kind of thing. But I always go in, like I said, with a zero first to kind of lay the foundation, and then I will go in and hit it with the darker grays over the top of that so I can get a nicer blend. My zero's about had it. And the unfortunate thing here is that Copic still has not come out with their new pens. And I don't know why. I mean, maybe COVID has slowed down production for them. I mean, who knows? I don't even know where they make the pens. They probably don't make them in the US, so I don't have any idea. But yeah, so there's no refills. You can't get refills, and there's no new pens. So it's kind of like so it's getting a little frustrating. I may have to switch pens and go to use a different sort of pen. I don't know. But we got the moon over here, so I'm going to let that create a little bit of my shadow here on him. Oh, Shelley makes an appearance. What's that for?
Fun.
Oh, okay.
What are you drawing? What are you doing?
I'm markering up this Punisher sketch I did last week, and
punishing it.
Hopes of suckering someone into buying it.
Hi, Randy.
Lloyd the collector. Lloyd, what is your
Humphrey Bears.
What's your most valuable comic book you have in your collection?
Don't tell him.
No, I want my wife to hear this.
Oh gosh, no pressure.
So we will patiently wait for Lloyd to respond.
What's this?
It's my coloring book.
Holy cow.
My wife appreciates the pirate piece. She's digging it.
I think he needs to put a little more detail in it, though. It's kind of slacking.
Well, it's an art book slash.
Slacker.
Yeah. John Smith says hi.
Hi, John. Hi, Randy. Oh, yeah.
Yes, Gary Martin has the brush marriage. He's kind of a brush snob. Let's see. Okay, what is it? I'm going to read this, put this up here so you can read it so I don't read it to myself. Are you going to add this Punisher and all the other art you do into a collected art book, which could or could not be a sketchbook? There will be the art of Aaron Lopresti, but it's still probably a couple years away. I want to make sure that a good portion of my career is behind me before I do something massive like that. And I keep hoping that I get popular enough that it'll warrant it. Oh, hello, ruler of the Lopresti house. Well, look at the respect you're getting.
Yep. Those are my peeps.
They know who owns
Batman.
They know who owns the gun in the house.
Batman 1. Horse coverless action comics.
You do not have a 9.6 of Batman #1.
Are you calling him out?
I'm calling you.
Are you going to throw hands?
Are you talking about the 19? What was that? Was it 40? When Batman #1 came out? Certainly you don't have a 9.6 of that.
It's time for a duel. Call him out, Lloyd.
I want verification, Lloyd, that that's actually the original Batman #1. Because if it is, I'm going to kill myself on camera.
Oh, that'll bring in the ratings.
Yeah, only one time, though.
Well, that's true. Well, I can tape it and then...
Well, let's play it over and over again.
Over and over.
We're all kind of anxiously waiting to see if Lloyd's going to...
He's going to call you out.
Well, I have to know. I just can't believe you had a 9.6. We have no.
I've had it 20 plus years.
So seriously, you honestly, oh my gosh. Well, you still haven't said that it's actually that issue, because there's more Batman #1s out there, you know. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Next is, can I come over?
Oh, I'd love to see Lloyd's collection.
What's the news of Garbage Man coloring book?
Okay, there is no Garbage Man coloring book.
But the coloring book.
What? What are you reading?
Right there.
Oh, so what's this news of a Garbage Man coloring book? No, Garbage Man is a trade paperback. The coloring book is a separate project.
That's part of it.
Weren't you paying attention, Nighthawk? You've been here from the beginning. There's no excuse for that. No, I tell you, this is like your students in class are sleeping when you're
oh my gosh,
when you're talking.
Get me started. Freshman boys, killing me. Killing me.
So I don't know if you guys saw my tweet the other night when I said that I walked in on my wife and she was working on my wife was working on physics in one room and I was coloring in the other room. And I thought that was kind of a hilarious juxtaposition of talents and abilities.
Well, someone's got to do it.
Yeah, someone's got to be smart.
Well, I'm not sure I'm smart, I'm just not very bright.
Well, there you go.
Are you still collecting, Aaron? Yes.
I haven't
But
bought...
he's much more particular?
Well, I haven't...
Choosy?
Well, since I haven't done any work for DC since September, I haven't bought anything since September.
And we have another in college now, so...
Yeah, she's getting most of my funds. But yes, I'm still collecting.
I know, the baby's in college. Killing them.
I bought some...
And majoring in art. Shocker!
I got a Thor 126 9.2. I think it was the last big purchase I made earlier this year when I was drawing Justice League and feeling pretty good about life.
That's true, Randy. Garbage Man could have its own coloring book.
It could.
Dual purpose.
But it doesn't.
But it could.
But it doesn't.
But
it could.
It could.
But
you still have a snowman up here. Are we ever going to put our Christmas decorations away?
I took the tree down before the end of January.
I saw that.
That's pretty
but
good.
I think if we just leave the rest of it up, Christmas is going to come again.
That's what I said. We're 10 months away right now.
Yeah. So it's all good.
The longer I get to keep Snow Miser.
Yes, I let him buy. He's got the money. It's fine. Whoa, Sammy's in college. Yeah, she's at Grand Canyon University in Phoenix. Yeah. Loving it. I actually looked at airplane fare just to see if I could go down there this weekend.
Really?
Or the next weekend after finals. I need to get out of this cold weather for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Well, no, she's going to Grand Canyon University. She's majoring in digital design with an emphasis in digital animation and minoring in dance, which I know is not shocking. Because they gave her too much money to not send her there. Yeah. Their scholarships are amazing. You just qualify and they give you money. They gave her like $44,000. So we said, okay.
That's over 4 years, not
right,
1
but
year.
still.
Yeah, but still, yeah.
It was cheaper for us to send her there than to send her like to Oregon State, and they actually have a good art program.
Yeah.
So.
Not that I should be dissing on Oregon State, but I will because they don't have a good art program.
No.
Wear your N95 mask.
Yeah, she wears a mask everywhere on campus, but the art classes that she's in are small enough that they're on campus for most of them. They're dancing in masks. What else? They've had very few cases, and then they shut down their hotel and use it just for quarantine. So it's kind of, everything they've done there is brilliant. It's so well thought out. So.
And these kids don't have to lose their first year of college experience. So, which I think is nice.
Yeah. Although we thought about staying when we took her down there. We're like, man.
Yeah, it's so nice and warm.
Well, shoot, remember we had to play intramurals. It was like in the dirt. They have intramurals in the artificial turf so they don't get dirty. Do you still have the thing drawing from a week or two ago?
I just sold it.
Oh, Josh, sorry.
Yeah, Scott Ruplin just bought it like earlier in this show before you checked in. So,
actually, Randy, it's not a small school. They're actually kind of big.
It's huge. It's a huge school.
Like they have their online program has like 100,000. That's how
they have 70,000 online.
Okay.
They have almost 30,000 students on campus.
Yeah, but
during normal times.
Their dorms are amazing. All their apartment complexes are on campus. Everything is gated. They have 24/7 security.
It's really impressive. I had no idea when I got there. I could not believe it.
The dance program's kind of new, but Sammy was actually surprised because she thought she was going to go down there and be like, but there's been some really good dancers, and she was actually, she doesn't start her minor until the fall, but some of the senior dancers that she's been taking, they just have like an open class on Mondays, and she's been going in. And they have a show in March, so like 4 of the seniors asked her if she would be in their number, and she was like, okay. She goes, I didn't even know they knew who I was. So yeah. Of course, Samuel Lopresti. I'm going to make a coloring book Nighthawk. Well, you have to do your own because otherwise they'll come after you, right?
About what?
Like you couldn't do a Marvel characters comic book.
No.
Or yeah.
Well, apparently they
Because
can't
heaven
either.
forbid you would make $100.
Apparently they can't either. So.
Oh.
Yeah. So. Well, this all. It's funny. Somebody posted on Facebook about the New York Comic Art Gallery that used to be there, like in the late '70s, and they had pictures of Bernie Wrightson's show, which I actually have the catalog from, and it really inspired me seeing that because it reminded me when I was young, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to draw comic books for a short period of time, become a superstar, and then like do my own thing. Of course, the superstar thing never came about, but now I'm doing my own thing, and so it really inspired me to kind of get back and
married better.
And kind of marrying someone with more money wouldn't have necessarily made me a superstar in the industry.
Also,
What's that? Oh, Judy says hi. Hey, Judy.
Hi, Judy. Yeah, she'll freak out that Sammy's in college. Yeah. Although she's still like 14 in her head.
Yeah, she
doesn't drive. She FaceTimes us every day.
Yeah, she's actually quite youthful in the maturity level.
Yeah.
But we love her. She's probably watching this right now and she's pissed off I just said that.
No, she'd be like, I'm never driving. Has anyone convinced Aaron to read Atari Force yet?
No.
But here's the impressive part. This man does not read unless it's a script for work. And he's actually been reading, like actually comes to bed, turns on a light, and reads something.
Okay, but
it has pictures, but it also has lots of words. And then he shares the information with me. Like I care, but I pretend
to care.
And listen and say, that's really cool. Because I read a lot. And unfortunately, there's no pictures. But yeah, this is the first time ever I think you've actually read.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. But what are you reading?
Okay, she got me the Skull the Slayer trade paperback collection of the Skull the Slayer series from the 70s that I remember being, I loved when I was a kid because it had dinosaurs and stuff. What garbage. It may be the worst comic series I've ever read in my life. And I don't mean to insult the people that worked on it, but holy crap, it's not good. And probably on issue, I think it was 6, Bill Mantlo took over as the writer and actually started becoming coherent and fairly decent. But I think it got canceled after 8 issues, so I don't have much farther to go.
What was the other one you were reading where you're telling me, oh, and then he did this?
Oh, she got me the autobiography. I showed you guys that of, not autobiography, but the biography of Mac Rayboy, the 40s artist on Captain Marvel Jr. And he also did like 20 years worth of Flash Gordon after Alex Raymond left. So that was really cool. I enjoy reading the stories about, what they were doing back in the 40s and the birth of the industry that we all know and love.
Are you sneaking a skull into the texture of the moon?
No, that's actually a good idea.
Good idea, Josh, to give him credit.
Was that?
So John was like, yeah, which comic are you reading? And then what else did I get you?
No, wait a minute, Lloyd. Power Pack was actually written by Louise Simonson, wasn't it? And Wheezy's really, really good. So that's worth reading, I'm sure. I just haven't read it. I don't have an aversion to it like I would say Atari Force, for example.
Oh, Judy. How nice.
Okay, so who said something about the skull and where's that at?
That's Josh. Josh Man.
Josh Olive?
Yeah.
Oh, are you speaking? That's a good idea. Yeah, I'm going to do that right now.
Oh, Josh, good job. And then, up here, Marcia, I saw you patronize. Is that the word? Comic link on Twitter. What's your opinion of the site?
I love it. That's where I get most of my good deals is on Comic Link.
So apparently he likes it.
Sometimes you have to wait to get what you're looking for it to show up. But I got my Hulk number 6 there. I got my Thor 126. I got other things that I can't think of right now. But I know
as long as we keep our house and get to eat food, he can buy whatever.
I'm being very disciplined right now.
You are.
As I need to be. But after the coloring book is a runaway success, then
Oh my gosh.
Then we'll get back to it.
We can retire.
Yeah, a little skull in there, baby. That makes it worth
It looks
way more money. Yeah.
Looks better looking at this way than it does on the screen for some reason. So it looks like he's smiling. But I look at it that way. It's like, oh, okay, I get it.
He's a happy skull.
I get it. All right, Husker's in here, sleep with you. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to do a quick outline in gray. You know what that sound means?
Yeah.
Fill me up. Shelley, entertain us with humor while I
geez.
fill up this pen.
I'm not very humorous today. I'm struggling.
Did I ever meet Alan? Alan who? I have some stories from con appearances. Woo. Ever meet Alan?
Alan Bellman's. Alan Bellman's autobiography.
I sat in a cab with him. I didn't know who it was, and he had this Captain America coat on or something. And then someone told me who it was, and we talked a little bit.
Did you snub him after that then?
Yes.
I talked to him for a little bit. But
well, he's like 90 something. I think he's passed away, isn't he? Or is he still alive?
No. Aaron's mom's almost 90.
I'm going strong. But she didn't draw Captain America, though.
No. She raised you, though.
That's true. So I could draw Captain America.
Does Aaron do auctions? Yeah, I used to do a lot more.
You mean like on eBay or just on like on this show? Because I auctioned off stuff. It's really hard.
Oh, yeah.
It's really hard on this show to auction stuff because I try to pay attention to the screen, and the bids come in fast and furious, and it's kind of hard to keep up on the messages. So, but yeah, I do. I mean, usually I just say, I got this. It's $100, like this Punisher. First person who wants it gets it. And so all you have to do is type in Aaron. I'll take that Punisher for $100, and it's yours.
So Bert said, I think it must be the camera, but when you move that picture, the skull seems to float a little.
Oh, it's trippy, man.
Cool.
3D. It's like the Haunted Mansion at
Super
Disneyland.
Cool. I'm sorry, I'm not very jovial. I had kind of a rough 2 weeks.
It's true.
Yeah. But that's all right. Gotta have something.
There it is, folks. Let's zoom out and take a really good look at the whole thing. Okay, that would be minus, right?
Yes.
This is a groovy piece, man. I mean, if you're into the Punisher, I'm not necessarily, I don't think I've ever even drawn him before, but I thought that piece turned out really well.
You did a t-shirt, didn't you?
No, that was Deadpool.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. I got to talk to Alan Bellman on the phone several times. He would call me to talk. Well, let me put this up so we can all read it, so I'm just not reading it. Let's see. I got to talk to Alan Bellman on the phone several times. He would call me to talk. It was like talking to a cool grandpa I never knew. We carry his autobiography at my store, so he always wanted to talk about how his book was moving, and he would send signed prints to give away with each sale. Oh, wow, that's super nice. I was the next one on his commission list when he passed.
Oh, man. So Randy's asking why you do the marker highlighted line around.
I just like the way it looks.
So does he. So I like it.
I think it sort of grounds it a little bit. Well, I sort of stole it from Adam Hughes and then realized I didn't steal it from him, because what I was seeing what Adam was doing was he was just going outside the lines, just being loose. And then I looked at it, and then so I started doing the border line around there, and I just really liked the way it looked, and so I just kept doing it. And Adam doesn't necessarily do it. He just like sometimes he just goes outside the lines, and so I was stealing from Adam Hughes, but I really wasn't, because that wasn't what he was doing. But that's kind of where the inspiration came.
So I guess one of your Wonder Woman pieces up on Comic Link right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I hope they get as much as they paid me for it.
Yeah.
I'd hate to think that it wasn't a good investment.
It's okay, Randy. I can't spell either. I can do calculus, but I can't
Mhm.
add. You know, it's just weird things like that. I can't spell for nothing. Though.
Thanks, Carl. Carl finally got his artwork that he bought. He bought the Steel story arc I did in that Generations book, and it took like 6 years to get there because of Christmas. I felt really bad, but of course I don't work for the post office, so it's really not my fault.
Well, I ordered you a book for your birthday. It shipped December 8th.
But it's from Europe.
It'll get here January 22nd.
But it's from Europe.
I think they're walking it over. I'm not sure.
Swimming. Put it in their mouth so it doesn't get wet.
Sakes.
The Punisher piece, Josh, is $100 plus shipping, which would be $10.
I thought you already sold it.
No.
Oh, it was the other one.
I sold the thing.
The thing. Is this going to go in your coloring book?
Yep.
Did you show them this one?
Yep.
Oh, I thought I was being all helpful and stuff.
That was that. A lot of people wanted to buy that piece till I found out how much it was.
And they went, oh, never mind. Josh is he's the winner.
Was he taking it? Okay. All right. The Punisher's
After you put
gone.
the kids to bed, you know, Carl, let me tell you, you think you never want them to leave, ever. But then when they're gone, you cry for a little bit. And then you realize, oh my gosh, it's quiet.
Yeah. And I don't have to drive my daughter around anywhere.
And then they come home for winter break and you're so excited. And then about a week and a half in, you're like, I kind of miss the quiet. Because she's a screamer, let me tell you. Boy, everything.
John, you say 2022. What are you getting at there? Is that the next time we're going to have San Diego? I don't know what that was in relation to.
Oh, goodness.
So explain yourself. Okay, so Josh Olive gets this. There you go, Randy. Take it and run with it. So anyway, Punisher's gone. The thing is gone. Happy days. Now you're saying, okay, Aaron, well, what else can you do to entertain us? Well, I've got a guy who wanted me to draw Garbage Man in a sketchbook. And he also wants a commission, but his commission's at least a week away. But I'm going to do his Garbage Man in the sketchbook right now.
Ooh.
Because it's Garbage Man.
Carl, it does go by so fast.
Go slow-mo, bro. Deep, man.
Yeah, it's the great parenting cruelty, yeah.
Wait a minute. Okay, Humphrey Bear says, on your show...
Oh, 2020. No, the gift will get here in 2022.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So what is on your show, Humphrey Bear? Husker Du, on your show, go slow-mo, bro. Are you just writing poetry?
Yeah, we're empty nesters, Randy, for chunks of time. I kind of have a feeling that Sammy will be back. Because she's, picking two things that are going to be tough. But that's what she wants. I keep telling myself it's her path. If I had my way, she'd be a physical therapist and save me a ton of money. But oh well.
Oh well.
She is her father.
I need to sharpen this pencil. That's what I need to do.
And
I got to find the pencil sharpener, which there it is.
Oh my gosh, it's 7:22. Is it too early to go to bed?
Well,
pretend it's like 11 somewhere.
Well, Josh Olive is in Alabama, and so that's what 9:30 there.
All right, I'm out.
That's not too bad.
I had to get up way too.
I'm sure we got some East Coasters in there that are 10:30 right now.
It's getting old stuff. Yeah.
Haunted Tank and Sergeant Rock. What in the world are you guys talking about?
They're having their own conversation, I think, which is kind of funny to be on the outside looking in. Oh yeah, you'd be a patient. I know. I tried. I'm like, you can work with professional dancers. That would be so cool. All right, Bert. Thanks. I don't feel so bad going to bed then.
No,
I'll go watch a movie or something. I'm obsessed with Hamilton right now. Holy cow. Sammy made me watch it, and I was like, okay, fine. I'll watch it with you. And now I listen to it or watch it every stinking day. All right. Night, Randy. Give Judy a hug.
Peace out, man. See, Nightwalk Warrior. Okay, so we're on the East Coast, are you, Nighthawk? 10:26. So that's you're East Coast someplace.
Garbage man.
Yep.
The man of the garbage. L'homme de la garbage.
That's in French.
I don't know what garbage is. Well, what's garbage can is. Ooh. I can't remember. It's a really fun one, though. Like something parabole or something.
I have no idea.
Ooh, coming to a con, Josh. Where?
Alabama.
Oh, Bosch. I've already, yeah. John, Bosch is like released in probably 3 hours later. I've already binged the entire season. That guy is a hottie, I got to tell you. I watch that every day.
What show?
Bosch?
I don't heard of it.
Oh my gosh. I read all the books first. But yeah, I can't remember his name now. He's a fine looking man. For an old wrinkly bald guy. He's hot.
Well, see, you're married to an old
I know,
bald
see?
guy, so.
What else did I
Your
just...
eye is off. Gosh, darn it.
John. And John, you probably visualized my face the whole time because you know what I'd be looking like. Oh my gosh. Is there a banana peel on Garbage Man?
That's a good idea. There could be. I don't know that I've ever drawn one. I have drawn.
But you could put anything you want on it because it's fun.
Yes, right? I could. Yes, absolutely, I could. That's a good idea. I'll have to do a banana peel sometime. He's only got one nostril, and for the life of me, I couldn't remember off the top of my head which side of the face it's on. Let me check my own reference, which is right here. Let's see. Oh, it's on his left-hand side.
Yeah, poubelle.
Not on his right-hand
L'homme
side.
de poubelle.
L'homme de poubelle is what? Garbage man?
Well, it's like the man of the garbage can. L'homme de poubelle.
The man of the
That and
garbage
umbrella.
can.
Parapluie.
So when this gets released in Europe, that's what
français?
it'll be called. That's what it'll be
Yeah.
called, huh? The man of the garbage can. Mm.
Garbage in French. Des odeurs is garbage. Of odors. L'homme des odeurs. Odeurs. Refuse trash. Rubbish.
There's a color spot right over his eye, and one right here. See, I remembered that. See, the funny thing is, all the new pages I drew for Garbage Man, I didn't draw Garbage Man because he didn't need to be redrawn. It was all that new super team that took the replaced Batman. So I'm actually more familiar with what they look like right now than I am Garbage Man. Don't talk politics.
That's what I said softly.
All right. Well, that's enough penciling. Let's get to the inking portion of our show. I'm going to show you guys one other thing. I'll wait till I'm done with this. There we go. My trusty 8.0 Le Pen. Oh my gosh, we've had 9 comments since I switched over there. And Apex, I'm broke. Can you draw on the back of a cereal box like Gary Shipman? Are you talking to me, Humphrey Bear?
Talking to me?
The auctions on your show, I meant. I'm so lost right now. Besides, Garbage Man isn't at DC, so DC can't republish it anymore. Well, technically they could. I own it now. But yeah, if they were going to republish it, they would have published it when they had it. So the reason they gave it back to me is because they weren't planning on using it. So yes, DC is not publishing it. Captain Carrot 0. See, you guys, I have no idea. Apex Comics wants to know, is Garbage Man available to purchase? No, not yet. the trade paperback will be coming out this year, later in the year, because as you know, as a dealer, I assume you're a dealer at Apex Comics. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But if you're a dealer, you know that to solicit books in bookstores, the solicitation has to occur 8 months prior. That's just how the bookstores work. So this will be available in comic shops, but also available in bookstores. So I think the pre-order on it is like March or something, but I can't remember. So I don't think it's going to be available to anybody until like November. But again, I'm not 100% certain on that. So my big goal right now is to actually get all the stuff that needs to be done and redone on it finished before it gets launched.
All right.
But it's a trade paperback of all the DC material, and there's basically 18 pages of either new art or 18 pages that has new art on it. So I used, I kept everything I could keep, and the stuff that I had to redraw, I redrew. And sometimes that's just a couple panels on a page. In some cases, it was entire full pages. And there actually is a new story page in there, because I took some stuff for granted because it was Batman and I knew my audience knew Batman. But since there's a new super team that no one knows until they pick up the trade paperback, I had to put in an extra page in there for a purpose so that it was a little bit more clear. I can't really say any more because then I just give it away, wouldn't I? So, it's nice trades are nice to get everything collected in it, but this will be a trade with some, first time new material in it as well that should make it a little bit more desirable than just your average trade. It's just collecting, stuff you've already seen, although a lot of people haven't seen it. So it may feel all brand new to a lot of people. And let's see. Why was Garbage Man at DC? Because when I went over from Marvel to DC to do Wonder Woman, one of the conditions of leaving Marvel was I wanted to do some writing and drawing, not just drawing. And Dan DiDio was very agreeable to that. And in fact, as we were discussing these things, he said, what we really need is a monster book to replace Swamp Thing, because Swamp Thing was in the Vertigo line, and Dan wanted it back for DCU, and they wouldn't give it back. So he wanted a monster book, a monster character that could become a thing in the DCU. So I said, that's right up my alley. I said, let me come up with something. And I came up with, originally it was called Wasteland, but that title was already taken, so then it became Garbage Man. And which actually worked out good, because Wasteland wasn't really necessarily the name of the character. It was more of a commentary on his condition, and not just the obvious condition he's made of garbage, but of his life and everything. And so Garbage Man then actually became the name of the character. And so originally it was going to be its own ongoing series, which I thought was pretty exciting. And then Dan changed his mind and said, no, we'll just do a miniseries. It's safer, which, of course it is. And then that got canned. And then he said, well, now we're going to run it as a series of backup stories in Batman comics. And I thought, well, okay, that's good, because a lot of people read Batman, so a lot of people see it. Well, then that changed, and then it became part of an anthology book, which I thought was a bad idea, just because anthology books are a tough sell, especially when you have new characters in it that no one's seen before. But it was actually really good, because Kevin Maguire's Tanga, which was this alien space chick that was actually a fairly entertaining story, and that sounded like a left-handed compliment. It actually was really good. It was an entertaining story in there, and then My Garbage Man was in there, and so I think the first issue sold like 19,000 copies or something, and then it steadily went down after that. So it didn't get seen by a lot of eyes. But my hope is that, when the trade paperback comes out, that, some people will want more, and then I can do some more original stories, and maybe if I have to crowdfund them or whatever, but at least there'll be more visibility with the character. So it'll be easier to get the project off the ground. To finish the story, though, so I was about halfway done with Garbage Man, and Dan got the rights to Swamp Thing back in the DCU, and so then Garbage Man became completely superfluous, and that was that. So I finished off doing what I was doing, obviously, but they had no need for him anymore. So there you have it. So he was basically created to sort of replace Swamp Thing, and that was kind of the mindset I had going into it. It was kind of make something that was a little bit derivative, that felt familiar, in the classic sense of, monster comics, and or the monster as superhero kind of genre. And so that's why I created him in a very familiar looking way. But now he's mine. So well, in terms of story, I'll put this up here. In terms of story, is very different than Swamp Thing. I mean, the origin is basically, all the origins of these, monsters are all pretty much the same. I mean, the details are different, but, chemicals are involved, explosions, that type of thing. But he's a very different character in a lot of ways. So, I mean, he's very much like Sludge was in the Ultraverse. If I was writing him, and I did write a lot of the Sludge issues, but it was Steve Gerber's creation. So I tried to stay within the confines of what he'd created. But basically, if I was doing a monster book, this is how I would do it. And so it's a very classic comic feel. And by classic, I mean, 70s, 80s, back in the good old days of comics. It's that kind of a book. So there's a lot of, nice character stuff. It's not just a monster book. So if you're like, I'm not big on monster books, it might be something that appeals to beyond that. There's a little bit of Beauty and the Beast element in it, and but there's plenty of monsters, so don't get me wrong. But we'll see. I've got a lot of ideas, and we'll see if hopefully a lot of them come to fruition. I mean, because majority of them, I assume, are going to have to come through crowdfunding, and that's always, you just never know. But I think that's going to become more prevalent because of just the course that DC and Marvel seem to be taking, which I don't think is a good one for the longevity of their line. It appears that DC really, or I shouldn't say DC, I should say AT&T wants DC to cost them as little money as possible and to get most of their books as digital content. So I think there's quite a opportunity there for, more traditional superhero or monster or whatever. I mean, it could be any genre, but more traditional comics that we might have enjoyed reading growing up. There might be more of an opportunity to get some of that stuff out there in the independent market. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm certainly going to mix in comic projects with art projects, like the coloring book. I mean, it's, you know, it's a coloring book, but it's an art project. It really is. It's trying to do some really high-end pieces in there, so that if you want to, you know, practice coloring them or whatever, just enjoy coloring them, that's fine. But if you want to treat it as an art book, you'll certainly be able to do that as well, because the pieces in there will warrant that, I think. And the great thing about it is, when I crowdfund it, just to get all I'm trying to do is cover the publishing costs, which are really not very much at all. So there's very little chance that I won't hit my goals. In fact, I guarantee you I'll hit my goals, because I'm not going to be asking that much. So it's going to get done. And so that'll be available. So I'll have my sketchbook. I'll be practically my own bookstore. Garbage Man does not kill people. He's a good guy in a bad situation. He kills monsters, though. Scott, how are you doing? You didn't know I'd be streaming. Well, I didn't either. I don't make, you know, I'm not on a regular schedule, which drives a lot of people crazy in my life.
Gosh, who might that be? Yeah.
I kind of fly by the seat of my pants, and I was like, you know, I need to do a live show. So I advertised it about 3 hours ago, and that's pretty much it. So someday I'll get on a regular schedule, and I don't like to do stuff like that because, well, I'm still working on projects. You never know what's going to come up, and then you're going to say, oh, I was supposed to do a live feed for an hour and a half tonight, and I can't because I've got to, you know, I got to get this other thing done. So I don't like to commit to that stuff, which I guess makes it difficult to draw in a bigger audience. But I don't know. I'm not ready to live on YouTube yet, like a lot of guys are. They may be coming soon, though. We shall see. I need to produce more process videos too. I've been doing all these live feeds, but I haven't done any of my talking comics and art with Aaron Lopresti in quite some time, and I need to do some of those videos. I've also been toying with the idea of doing an online class, so that could happen as well. A lot of going to be a lot of things going on this year.
Your surgery.
Yeah, I have a tear in my rotator cuff, so I have to have rotator cuff surgery in a month.
And a partial tear in his bicep tendon.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm perfectly healthy.
Other than that, his shoulder, if he doesn't get it fixed, they said his shoulder, he could rupture all of his rotators and have shoulder replacement surgery.
So, yeah.
So either he learns to draw left-handed or with his feet, or he has to have it done.
Yeah, so I'm going to be out of commission for a couple weeks in end of February and March. Yeah, so there's Garbage Man. I love doing these monster sketches, these books, because I can just kind of do all this crazy, messy line work, and it doesn't really matter because, you know, he's a Garbage Man monster. So of course he has messy lines all over him. All right, I think that's, you know, good enough for 20 bucks worth, right? So there's Garbage Man in there. I will sign it because that's what I do when I finish a drawing. Unless I forget, John Smith will remind me that I forgot to sign his Creature from the Black Lagoon sketch last year. And because there's no conventions going on in California anytime soon, it's going to be a while before I can actually sign that piece. I have no idea what number this is, so let's check, shall we? Let's grab the old, you know, Batman book and see what it says. Did I lose my cap? I didn't. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to reach in front of the camera, which is really rude if you're at the dinner table, but we're not eating, so I guess I can do it.
Sure.
And what number is this? This? One of blank pages in here. Okay, here we go. No, that's not it. This is for John Graham, and it's number 217 out of 750.
Does he not have a nose?
No,
Well, because then
he has a nostril.
Well, he doesn't want to smell himself, so
No,
makes
that'd
sense.
be pretty gross. So what did I say, 217? That's what I said, right?
I'm sorry.
Well, it's 217 now. And there it is. Now, if you guys, okay, here it comes. You know it was coming. If you guys do not have one of these books, first of all, shame on you. It's a hardcover, 64 pages, raw imagination, 20 years of sketches by me. There's my name at the bottom that proves that I did it. I actually drew this piece too. There's some action on the back. You know, guerrilla warfare. That's a little bit of a joke there. And there's my my Cold Crocodile Press logo. So you say, what's in here? Well, there's drawings in here. Sketches of sketchy stuff. There's some Lord of the Rings and some Dark Crystal, Shelley's favorite.
Ugh.
There's some warrior babes.
There with
There's monkeys and Bigfoot and more babage. Trolls and such. And Rosie the Riveteer. Ooh, some Jungle Book stuff. The drawing for the cover. Trolls. Ooh, Kane from the House of Mystery. Copyright infringement. Yikes. Pizza guy. Little barbarian, perhaps Conan action there. A lizard with guns. Come on. Come on! Look at that. And then there's, that's from one of my fantasy books that I've got the outline and the plot summary done, but I haven't actually scripted it yet. A lot of John Carter of Mars type material, Deja Thoris and a white ape kind of thing. I mean, it's just full of good. Look, there's a shadow in Doc Savage. Come on, man. There's a girl with a dragon in a pond. So yeah, there's plenty of quality material in here. And this is the last sketchbook I'm doing. Okay. The last sketchbook I'm doing. The next ever. I'm never doing another sketchbook. I will do the Art of Aaron Lopresti book, and I may do a coloring book.
Gosh, it's almost 8 o'clock. I was going to try to make it to 8, but no, I'm out. I'm going to go lane traction, I think.
Okay.
Make myself taller.
Paul's bought 4 of them, and that's what I call commitment to excellence. That's right. What a great, this is what I call, you know, a great sales pitch right there. And I thank you. Scott Gunther rejects Dark Crystal and the Muppets. That's terrible. It's terrible. I love the Muppets. Now my dog's all excited. Who knows what's going to happen? Let's see. If you want to purchase a sketchbook, let me show you how. See, sketchbooks are $25. If you want to sketch in it like the one I just did, the Garbage Man headshot, it's $45 plus $5 shipping. All you have to do is send me the money at aaronlopresti.com. It's very similar to show me the money. This is, of course, send me the money. And you don't have to email me. Just send it over to PayPal at aaronlopresti.com. But just make sure you put in there why you sent me the money. So it's like, for a sketchbook, I want a headshot of Rogue or whatever. And make sure your address is on the payment so that I know who to send it to. And that's how it works. It's a piece of cake. So I have plenty of those available, but they are limited to 750. Once those are gone, that's it. And like I said, it's not the last book I'll do, but it's the last sketchbook I will do. So, yeah, you know, a haunted tank, not really up on my list of things to get to, but maybe. Shelly says, good night, John. She just headed out. So is the stream over? Almost. Okay. How many pages? It's 64 pages, man. 64 pages of hardcover goodness. I want to show you guys one other thing before I bail on you. Some of you guys may have seen this before. I am almost done with a script. I know I've been saying that for a long time, but I actually am almost done with it. I mean, I'm in the last like 15 pages of this 64-page graphic novel. This is a it's a Western horror superhero monster book, and it's kind of a Batman of the Old West in a way, monster hunter. And it's something that I plan on doing. I got the script, like I said, as soon as I finish the script, which will be probably by the end of this month, I'm going to start working on some pages for it. I want to get the first 5 pages done, and then kind of show those around. And then I don't know if it was something I might kickstart, or pardon me, or Indiegogo or whatever, or might find a small publisher if I can find a good deal. Who knows? But that's something that's next on the comic book front in terms of independent publishing for me. After I get finished with the coloring book, of course, which isn't a comic project; it's more of an illustration and art project. Oh, thank you. He says he loves how I draw horses. Well, thank you very much. John Smith says sold. He's waiting in the wings to buy this book. Apex Comics, 64 pages, $25, great deal. That's for the sketchbook. It's a hardcover. So yeah, it's I think it's reasonably priced. Lloyd's out of here with his Batman #1. Why haven't they put you on art for a current Shadow book? I don't even know who's publishing. Is Dynamite still publishing that? I don't know who's doing that. I draw the Shadow. Tell me who's publishing it, and maybe I'll call them up. Okay, dudes. We almost made it an hour and a half. That's a pretty good show for me. Some of these guys go like 3 hours, and I'm just like, it's just like, what the heck, man? Who can go that long? I can't go that long. So we've sold the Thing. We've sold the Punisher. There's me. So in all, a pretty productive night, I think. Got to sneak peek a few things. So you know what's going on. I will keep you guys up to date on social media. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm on MeWe. I'm still trying to figure out a couple other newer sites. So I try to keep all this stuff upgraded. If you can't follow me on Facebook, because I am maxed out at 5,000, so I can only add people when someone drops. But I do have the Art of Aaron Lopresti on Facebook that anybody can go to and check out. And I try to keep that, whenever I put something on my regular Facebook page, I try to make sure that same thing gets on that Art of Aaron page as well. So you can follow me there. If you can't get on the regular Facebook page, but you can send me a friend request, and as soon as I got room, I add people as soon as I can. So anyway, thanks for joining me tonight. It was a good time had by all. I'm going to, well, at least by me, I don't know if you guys enjoyed it, but I'm going to get back to inking this tonight because I'm really inspired by that, seeing those pictures of Wrightson's gallery showing at the New York Comic Art Gallery, which doesn't exist anymore. We need to do that. We need to form a new venue where we can just comic art gallery, and I'll be in charge of it. Darn it! And we'll have an Aaron Lopresti show every first Saturday of every month. That's what we'll do, and then I'll get other people to fill in behind me. But anyway, so I'm kind of inspired. I want to jump back in on that, and I will keep you guys posted on how the coloring book's coming, and try to get something up a couple weeks beforehand so people are aware of it before I actually launch. And that's pretty much there you have it. So let's take a quick look at the messages before I head the heck out of here. Let's see. Dynamite Dynamite is doing the Shadow. Okay, well, I'm doing a James Bond cover for him right now, so maybe I'll talk to him about that and say, what's the deal, man? John says, say goodnight, Aaron. All right. Yeah, Comic Art Gallery, we can crowdfund it. I'm digging it. All right, guys. Apex Comics, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you saying that. Great stream. Every once in a while, they work out. So I say this every time. I plan on doing more of these than I'm actually doing. But like I said, I'm working too. So Anyway, so I will see you guys again soon. I'm going to be jumping around, making appearances. I was on Graham Nolan's show the other night, and hopefully we making the rounds as the coloring book gets closer as well. So I might be all over the place before you know it. But anyway, until next time, thank you, and hopefully we'll catch you next week. Let's plan on that. All right. See you guys. Thanks. Good night.